Getting fit is actually simpler and more time efficient than you probably think. But what most people do is they try to cram too much into a single training session, which just leaves them overwhelmed and burnt out, and they don't actually see any progress from it because they're trying to do too much. But once you shift your training sessions to just these three sections, you can actually build real fitness in an efficient amount of time and with fewer setbacks and injuries. In this video, I'm going to lay out the three-part training sessions that I allocate to myself and to my clients that take less than 30 minutes to complete. I used to spend ages warming up for each session, but I wasn't really actually doing anything productive with that time. I used to spend 20 to 30 minutes before I even lifted any weights, but most of the time was spent just on my phone while stretching or just slowly walking around the gym, just wasting a lot of time. But once I shifted my warm-ups to these three sections, I was able to get all that stuff done that was taking me half an hour in the beginning in just 10 minutes. So what I usually do, I start with a way to increase my heart rate. So it's really important to increase your heart rate for training, just to prepare your body, but also your brain to put in some effort into what's coming up. So what I usually do is put together three to five exercises that increase your range of motion, that are big, powerful movements, and that can be done with little preparation. Things like inchworms, squats, and a few stretches as well. And put that into a little circuit, 3 to 5 rounds, or maybe I'll just put 5 minutes on the clock and try and do it as many times as possible, just to get the body moving slowly, reach my full range of motion, and get my heart rate up at the same time. So at most, that can take you about 5 minutes. The next 3 to 5 minutes, let's say, I will spend mobilizing. So if I feel extra stiff, I might spend a little bit more time on this, but I can get this done within 2 to 3 minutes as well. Just mobilizing with a foam roller or just some extra stretches on specific tight areas. So whether that's the hip flexors, the upper back, the shoulders, or the hamstrings, just find somewhere that's mobilized those joints where it feels needed and for what's coming up in the session. Then lastly, I'll spend time on activation. Again, another 2 to 5 minutes, trying to warm up or trying to activate some of the lesser used muscles that often become weak from sitting all day. So most of us have jobs where we have to sit at a desk. So there's very common areas that become quite weak and quite inactive. This is quite commonly the upper backs, your lats, your glutes, and even your anterior tibialis, which is the muscle around the front of your shin. These are muscles that become quite weak and quite inactive. And putting load on your body where it's inactive is just going to cause you problems, and it's not going to feel very good in training. The whole point of training is you want to feel good, you want to feel ready, you want to feel prepared for what's coming up, and activating those muscles will improve your posture and set yourself up for the training that's coming up. Then this next section is one that most people skip, which is technique. Technique is so important for training because it allows you to do more work with least effort. The better your technique is, the more reps you can get in, the more weight you can lift, and ultimately the more adaptation you can get from each specific training session. If your technique is bad, you're basically doing half the work. You're not getting the most out of your training that you can. So technique can be summarized simply as doing more work with less effort. So if I told you to cross the room and you proceeded to lay on your front and inch across the room like a worm, that is very bad technique, and it does the same amount of work as walking, but it takes much more effort. Whereas if you stood up and you put one foot in front of the other, you did the same amount of work with much less effort. So that's what we're trying to think about when we're doing training. We want to try and move some of this weight. We want to do these movements with the least amount of effort so we can do more reps, we do it at more intensity, and we get more adaptation from each rep and each exercise that we do. You should always practice technique, even if you're someone that's quite experienced like myself. You always want to be refining and finding ways to become more efficient and more proficient in those specific movements and becoming more functional in your day. And then the final section is going to be intensity. This is where we're really trying to push the boundaries of your training and elicit as much intensity from the effort that you're putting in. So really, apart from all the smaller movements where you're focused on activating those weaker muscles or those lesser used muscles, your training should replicate real life. You should really be doing a lot of the similar stuff in the gym that you would do in real life. You pick things off the floor, you squat down, you press things overhead, you pull things towards you. These are real life movements. But the thing that differentiates the adaptation that you'll get in the gym from the adaptation you'll get from just going around in normal life is the intensity. You don't need to put so much intensity into everyday life. You can focus on just going around how you usually would. But when you want to get the adaptations of feeling stronger, improving muscle mass, burning body fat, and even just improving your cognition, you want to be training with intensity. Intensity is the breeder of all results. You want to be able to push yourself really hard, and the harder you can push yourself, the quicker the results will come, and the more efficient your time in the gym will be. So this last section can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. If you can really push yourself, you can really get the benefits of training with intensity. If technique is doing more work with less effort, intensity is doing more work in less time. And if you compare those two concepts together, intensity and technique, you will have a powerfully transformative training program that will guarantee you results. Training with intensity is guaranteed to bring you visible changes to your body, but what often goes unnoticed or untalked about is the adaptations that happen between the ears. When you're pushing yourself to that sort of intensity, it's very uncomfortable, which is why a lot of people try and avoid it. But if you can continuously put yourself in that situation and push yourself with that sort of intensity, your brain counters that by fueling you with lots of feel-good hormones and feel-good chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and all sorts of endorphins to help you cope with the stress that you're putting your body under. And that in turn improves your mood, improves your cognition, and likewise, it will increase your metabolism, helping you store fat and burn fat correctly. It'll help you build muscle, become more athletic, stronger, and more powerful in your body. So the best way to get intensity from your training is, I like to do, is put a timer on. Put a timer on for anywhere from 20 seconds to 20 minutes and just have the goal of trying to do as much work as possible in that time. You can do 20 seconds, try and do as much work as possible, and then 10 seconds rest in between, and then repeat that for a certain amount of rounds or reps. Or you can just have one big timer, 15 minutes, do this work as many times as possible in that time. Likewise, another good way to elicit intensity from your training is having a task in front of you. So 3 rounds, we've got to do these exercises, and we want to try and do it as quickly as possible. Trying to race against the clock is one of the best ways to elicit intensity from your training and elicit the adaptations that you want from your training to make you feel more confident and more comfortable in your own body. You're not the only one that feels stuck in the gym. Everybody is desperate to transform their fitness and improve their health and change their body composition. But what separates people that are successful in that domain and that aren't are the ones that take action. On this channel, I'm going to try and give you as much advice and as much of my top tips and secrets to taking action on your health and on your fitness so that you can see changes in your body composition, you can see changes in your mental health and mood, you can see changes in your functionality and your strength, and build real fitness that spills over to all other areas of your life. So if this is areas of your life that you want to improve on, hit the subscribe button so that you can follow and get updates on when new videos are coming out so that you can take action repetitively and see real change quickly.